it is me, Livesey Lovesit. It is Friday night. I'm in a bit of a quandary. I don't know if you are. Let's figure it out as we go through the evening. So, first up this evening, I've got lots of things I need to go through because it's been a busy week, and this is like first stream. Let's bring my microphone over. That might help a little bit. I'm sure you could possibly still hear me, but hopefully that's a little bit better now. Bit of dust on there. What's that all about? No need for that. Yeah, we're up and running. So, first up, things we're going to look at this evening. We're going to be looking at a league update. We're going to do team of the week to see which team has the highest score last week and see what they're doing. We've got a new league leader. Maybe it's an old one that's back again. We shall see. We're going to look at transfer trends. We're going to look and see what my transfers are. I've got 2 free transfers. Bit of a quandary because the player I want I can't afford. It takes me 3 transfers, but I don't really need to do any of them this week. So we'll have a look at that in a little bit. Question and answers. If you guys have got any questions and answers, in fact, let me turn on the widget. I've just noticed it's not there. Move myself up a little bit and then turn on the YouTube message thing, which is just down here. This is a good time, if you're new to the channel, to subscribe. Give us a like, because that just makes life a little bit easier for me to get recognised and build the channel up a little bit, and yeah, get everybody accessing it all. Right, do I need to reset that? Is it up and running? We'll see if it... Let me put a message and then maybe we'll find out if it's working or not. Nice to have somebody on board. Say hello if you like. Hello all. This is not a stream, by the way. There's going to be boom, boom, boom. Not at all. Got lots to get through, but it's Friday night. Right, we are printing on there as well. Happy days. Oh, Friday. I've got myself a drink anyway. I don't know about you. I have raspberry, wild strawberry and elderflower, Aldi's finest ciders. What are you guys drinking on this Friday night? So, league update then. Let's start there. How's the league gone? Now, Who Really Lovesit League? Who's been really loving it? We have a new league leader overall. It's Nirgana. I'll give you up. Let's have a look at his team. He's got Sar in goal. He was a recommendation of mine right at the very beginning of the season. So nice to see Sar's doing in a team that's doing well. Has he been there every week? Yeah. Oh no, Henderson as well. Oh, we doubled up. Oh, looks like we're doubled up on Sar and Henderson. Wow. Fair play, mate. Spent some money there right from the get-go. But last week, 85 points, which is taking you to the top of the league. Perisic still in defence. I wonder if you're going to keep hold of him. Hello, Salesh. How you doing? Nice to see you. Hope you've had a great week. Yeah, Foden in the centre there. He has been getting lots of minutes, hasn't he, Foden? Seems to be for a midfielder for Man City. He's played every single game so far. He is very much trusted by Pep Guardiola. Not had a rest yet. Maybe there's one due. We'll see. But no, that's some really good stuff. Just want a few more attacking returns from him, really, don't we? But ticking over nicely. Salah still stuck with him. Not captained in the IC, which was good, but still got 10 points. Got that late assist, didn't he? Ward-Prowse. Captain Haaland, 34 points. Jesus, 6 points. And Mitrovic at 9 points. He is absolutely smashing it this season, isn't he? Expected goals are right up there as well. But 9 points, 7 points, 6 points. Minus one. I think that was a penalty miss, was it? 13 points there against Liverpool. He's having a great season so far. And for the first time, Mitrovic actually looks like he could be a Premier League striker. Don't want to jinx it for everybody. But, yeah, he does, doesn't he? So, yeah, absolutely massive well done to Brian, who is now top of our league. How do I get back to that? Don't want to go through the game leagues. Let's just do it this way. Yeah, with 339 points. What rank does that give you? Have you got your actual game week rank is 677,000. Do I need to make it bigger like this slightly and get that bar panel down the side? Let's have a look. See if we get a bit more information. Yeah, so overall rank 632k. It's so hard to get a good rank this season. There's players in this league finishing top 100k regularly, and as we can see, at the top person in our league this season is at 632k. So it's never been harder to get higher up in the ranks, and I'm liking some of these different picks here. The SARS, Ward-Prowse. Liking that sort of thing. You know, I think we've got to do something different. The template is not the template. It's not doing as well as it has done. I've seen some great players who struggling 3 million, 4 million sort of like places. Still early days. Still early days. Only 5 weeks in. So let's go. How else is going on in the league? So team of the week this week with the highest score, and it's team of the week 2 weeks on the run. And I do apologise for not being around last week for this, John. It was a very quick turnaround, and to be honest, I had a bit of a medical thing going on, which I had to sort out. But 86 points last week, and happy to say this is a no seller team. Happy to say because mine is also no salad team, so it's just nice to see other ones doing well out there. But Mendy in goal, I wonder if you're going to stick with him. They've struggled there, but now maybe the transfer window shut. Maybe that is a defence to sort of like invest in, and maybe there's going to be some more points, because I don't think the fixtures are that bad, are they? Look at all those lovely sort of twos there. Not bad fixtures whatsoever. Tough one against Liverpool, but it is at home. Is it that tough against Liverpool at the minute? What do you guys think? How are Chelsea going to do defensively moving forward? Kilman in for 9 points. I see you had James, so he's coming off the bench for you. Wow, mate, that's really like massively giving you a boost last week, hasn't it? I don't think he would have started for you, would he, otherwise? Cancelo actually at last delivering an attacking return, scoring a beauty. Fantastic stuff there. Clean sheets as well. No bonus points, which is gutting, but Haaland, you know, got the maximum of those, didn't he? 3 goals, 3 bonus. It's just what he does. Scores hat-tricks. Easy. In a half. My God. Now, I don't know if anybody else is saying the same sort of thing, but is he possibly the best yet? Now, I'm talking Premier League, but era, not like football forever, but is he possibly the best yet? And not just striker, but all-round player. He's, I don't know, I've got a feeling he could be, and he could hit 40, 50. God, could he even hit the 60 goals that this man here scored? Dixie Dean. Could he hit 60 goals? 9 in 5. If he carries on with that ratio, he can. I don't know. He could be the best yet. Anyway, Jesus carrying on delivering, which is, you know, consistently. I'm a bit concerned about him, to be honest with you. I don't know why, but I am a little bit concerned. Fixtures turn a little bit. I don't know if he is fully nailed on moving forward. In a couple of weeks, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. And Tony didn't get a return. That's 2 weeks without a return now. I think a lot of people have ditched him. I wonder what John's done with him this week. So, yeah, massive well done to the underperformers with Team of the Week there. Right, let's go and have a look and see some league analysis, because we're now starting to build and sort of like see what people have done last week, what we're going to be doing for the week going ahead. I'll go and have a look at my team in a minute and see how I've performed. I'm certainly going to be doing my transfers, I would imagine. Well, I will be this evening. I just don't know what to do. Let me just load the league up. So, my leagues, Who Really Loves It League. Go, go, go. This, by the way, is Premier Fantasy Tools. Link in the description below for this. Lots of great things if you're not a user of it. Right now, we shall use it to load up our details for the week. Gives us some analysis. Boom, boom, boom. Get your questions in, by the way, if you want to. I've got... we're looking at some different things later. So... manager highlights and player highlights of the week. So we already talked. John's the manager of the week. Paul, biggest rise up the league. Well done with Murmur FC. Climbed 5 places in the league. Good evening, Counder. How are you? Welcome. And biggest fall, our league leader from 2 weeks ago, Ken Miles with Stranger Mings. Best transfers this week, Brian Mockwa, 6 net points. Usama, unfortunately, with your transfers, lost 5 points. I wonder who that was. Maybe we'll see in a moment. Most transfers this season, still Gary. Least transfers this season, 2. Me, I've got 2 in the bank, which I intend to use possibly this evening, but I have used a wild card, so I don't think that really counts, to be honest with you. My team value's done really well, though, so really happy with that. And Damien, man, I don't know what's going on here, Mark, if you're watching, but you have got no team value whatsoever, Damien, with your team D. And Ari Travo has our best rank still, so nobody's taking that off him so far this season. Most captain player last week was Haaland. We'll see who else was captain in a moment. Most owned, now only in 80% of our teams, which is interesting. This was 98% or 95% of our teams a couple of weeks ago, so his ownership is decreasing. So my sort of like... I haven't had a chance to look at any of this. This is all new to me as well this evening. We're discovering it all together. Jesus, now only in 80% of teams. That's interesting. Most transferred in, De Bruyne. Most transferred out, James. Now, he is looking like he's back this week, so I wonder if people are a bit too hasty to get rid of James there. Excuse me. Now... what I'm interested in, player ownership. So captain selection. So Haaland had 7, Salah had 5. So still getting a return for people. Jesus and De Bruyne. So people really no differentials on the go. Almost half of people captaining Haaland last week. I think some people worried he's getting a rest. I think that's going to be even higher this week. Or is this his week for a rest? I don't think he needs a full rest, does he? Coming off after 68 minutes. Doesn't even look like he breaks out of first gear. Bless Jesus Christ. Man's doing amazing. De Bruyne getting a couple of captaincies, gutted for those, but I would imagine he's definitely due a start this week. Let's look at ownership overall. Highest owned players now. Jesus at 80%, Martinelli 60%, that's increased. Alexander-Arnold, that's dropped 60%. Haaland at 60%. I'd imagine that's got to be more now, surely. If you're not owning Haaland, what are you waiting for? Kane against Fulham? Maybe. Fair dues if that's the case, but I don't know. I just think you can't go without him now. In terms of essential players, he is in that bracket. Certainly for me anyway. Andreas, 60%. Owned more than Mo Salah. Cancelo, 55. Mo Salah, that has decreased. I'm convinced of it. He is leaving people's teams. Nico Williams, people getting go with James. Sanchez in 30% of the teams. Rodrigo in and then out again. He'll be going after his injury. What a shame. He looked like he was absolutely on fire. Mini league templates. This is our template. So goalkeepers, most owned is Ward. Then Sanchez, Ramsdale. Defenders, Alexander-Arnold, Cancelo, Nico Williams, James, Patterson, Trippier, Zinchenko. That's increased. I think a lot of people getting rid of Zinchenko now. I think he's still injured. We'll double check in a bit when we look at the press conference summaries. Martinelli, Andreas, Salah, Rodrigo, De Bruyne, Luis Diaz in more teams now. I think some people going from Salah to Diaz. Gross. I just wonder with Gross, is that... I think he's outperformed his stats when I was looking the other day. This is why I was going to transfer him in midweek and then decided against it because he'd scored like 3 goals against an expected goals of 1.5 and I was just like, is he overperforming? I don't remember him doing this well. Has that boat sort of sailed? you know, certainly that little run of like scoring that he's had, I'm not convinced that's going to continue. So no, I haven't invested in Gross, although I did have the funds and still do have the funds, I think, to do so should I so desire this evening. Forwards, Jesus, Haaland, Tony's in a lot of teams, and then Greenwood and Kane not in many teams whatsoever now. So if you are keeping him this week, he will be a differential for you. Would you be willing to captain him though? That'd be interesting. Differentials: Patterson, White, De Silva, Jensen, Dunk. I think a few people getting rid of De Silva now. People transferred, lots of like transfers all over the place. Nobody sort of like really standing out. Rodrigo came into 2 teams, unlucky. De Bruyne 2 teams, got a rest. Sanchez came into 2 teams. Gross came into 2 teams, no return. So no sort of great sort of transfer business there, really. Mitrovic, he's done well. Luis Diaz, well, but got a rest. Odegaard got injured. Andreas got a return, so if you brought him in, happy days. And then players leaving the team again, a range all over. Ramsdale leaving the team. He's not delivering bonus, is he? He's injured. I don't know if he's still injured. We'll find out in a minute. Mount, people giving up on him. Not surprised. I think I would have done as well by now. So, yeah. That's what's going on in the league at the moment. Now, if you're not a member of the league, code is in the description below. pdvlbm. Do join the league, because the more that we get, the better analysis that we get. Yeah, happy days. So, league stuff up to date. How am I doing? First off, I'm going to have a little sip of my drink, because it can take your breath away, this. A little bit. Right, so last week, here we go. 86, no, that's not me. Didn't do that well, I wish. 76 points for Livesey Lovesit FC last week. Much better week. Game week rank still only 2 million though, but way above, well, not way above the average, but above the average of 62. So happy with how my week's gone. Sanchez not delivering for me last week, but he did the week before, and he's not going to every week, to be fair. But certainly did better than Ward. Maybe didn't this week, but overall he's doing better than Ward for me so far. So a good transfer the previous week. Alexander-Arnold, no return there again. Substituted early. How many minutes did he play? Don't see that very often, do you? 70 minutes, 2 games in a row he's been substituted now. I wonder if he's due a rest. Anyway, he goes nowhere. He goes nowhere. Cancelo at last scored for him, so getting even better return now. So was getting a little bit concerned and possibly tempted. Thanks, I'd love to join. Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, more the merrier. I'm going to keep it open, I think, till the new year, to get as many people as we can to sort of like, you know, garner as much information. But I want it to sort of like be fair and have a point where people can't just join in and win it at the end. So I think I'll keep it open until the end of this year, and then, yeah, close it from there on in. Boom. So who am I looking at here? So João Cancelo, yeah. So for me, he stays. Fixtures coming up. Aston Villa away. Tottenham at home. I mean, he's just playing for the Man City defence. He is the best defender to have at Man City. It's as simple as that. Patterson came in for me because James was injured. I actually thought this was the week he was going to get a return, and he did bear down on goal around about the 80th minute. And he could have either passed the ball to Damari Gray, which would have been a tap-in for him, I'm convinced of it, or he could have placed a better shot and shot across goal, but he shot right at the keeper, and I thought that was my moment. But he is looking really good, and I have to say, whilst I've debated selling him this week, I am thinking with Idrissa Gay back at Everton that maybe, just maybe, please, our defence is going to be tighter. We've got Connor Cody settling in. We've got Tarkovsky settling in. We've got Mikalenko settled in nicely now, doing well. We've got a new back four pretty much since January. England's #1 in goal. Idrissa Gay going to sit in front of that, that back four. I have to stop drinking that cider. So I think Patterson could be a steal, and I am loath to sell him, although I'm tempted by the likes of Dalot, Fofana at 4.4s, to be honest with you. But we'll talk about transfers in a bit. Into my midfield, De Bruyne, vice-captain, 1 point. Andreas, I'd actually put in my starting lineup, and I'm really pleased to see that he got a return, 6 points. He's doing really well for a 4.5 midfielder. 2 returns in the last 3 weeks, ticking over nicely, getting his minutes, getting a rest as well, not playing all the games, so, not likely to get injured. On set pieces, couldn't be happier. 36 of 269 in the ICT index. 7 of 269 for creativity. So, yeah, he's part of it. Kulusevski, 2 points. He is a possible contender for a sale. If we look and see how he's been doing, started off really well. I brought him in a wild card in game week 2, and then for me since then, he's not done very well. Spurs fixtures, they've got Fulham at home this week. Here lies part of my quandary, because if I want to sell anybody, it's going to be this player, but they've got Fulham at home. Don't mind selling him next week whatsoever, but he is where my cash comes from. We'll come back to him shortly. Martinelli, wow, what a season he's having for a £6 million midfielder. I think he's 6.4 now. Is he going to go up again tonight? 6.5. What a season he's having. 2 in the ICT index. 2. Wow. 8, 8, 6. Blank against Fulham. 10 points again here. He just looks like he's playing in a much advanced links. While the people say Robertson in the bench, I think people are saying Robertson might be in the bench because he's been substituted in the last couple of games for Tsimikas. I think they've got a fairly decent fixture. Liverpool, well, not really, not got a fairly decent. It's got up against Everton. I don't know. We'll have a look in a moment. Javier. I captained Haaland last week, which I'm really pleased about. That was a bit of a sort of last-minute change. I was on De Bruyne for most of the week, convinced he would be the one to start and Haaland possibly get the rest. But in the end, I just thought, I seen how he has basically returned every single week, and I just thought he is just, for me, he's practically a permanent captain as it stands. And home or away, West Ham away, tough fixture, no 13 points, just settling in then. People not giving him the ball. Bournemouth at home, Newcastle away, 6 points, and then Crystal Palace at home. At home, he's a beast, isn't he? 17 points in 68 minutes. Hat-tricks back-to-back in second half, first half. Absolutely, formidable. And a must. So I have him. Tony is a player I'm looking to possibly offload from up the top at 1 point. Not done it the last couple of weeks for me, although they do still have some good fixtures. Leeds at home this week, and Southampton away. But then it's Arsenal. I think that's a tougher fixture than a 3, to be honest with you. Bournemouth away, I think they'll sort of like tighten up as well. So not totally convinced by Tony. And Jesus at 6 points. So that's how my week went. How's it left me? Overall rank, I'm now up to 2.2 million. Look at this, 10.1 million players. I don't think I've ever seen 10 million players before. I think that is we're on record sort of territory here, and there's still, people will still keep joining as the season goes on as well. So, crazy stuff. Very hard to get in the top 10k now. Very hard. Top 0.1%, is it? Quick maths. Let me know if I'm right or wrong on that one. So transfers. Let's have a look and see. Let's see how my team looks at the moment going into this week. So, team as it stands. Sanchez in goal, up against Leicester. Happy with that. Nico Williams comes in for a start up against Bournemouth. He's due a haul. His underlying stats are right up there with any defender. So he's due a haul. He's playing Bournemouth. This is the fixture, surely. And if it's not, he's gone. It's as simple as that. Alexander-Arnold up against Everton. Could be a game to rest him, to be honest with you. I don't know what's going to happen there. I really don't know what's going to happen there. I think Everton fans will be up for it. Cancelo up against Villa. I mean, there's no brainer. He starts there. Sad to see Gerrard struggling there, isn't it? James in defence. I think he's back up against West Ham. Again, we're going to have a look at the press conference summaries. We can all probably do with having a look at those, so just have a quick look. Martinelli up against Man United. De Bruyne up against Aston Villa. Kulusevski against Fulham. Tony against Leeds. Haaland against Aston Villa away. You know, no-brainer. Jesus against Man United. So I think I've got a pretty good sort of starting 11 as it stands, to be honest with you. And I've got 2 free transfers. Now, what I don't want to do is do transfers just for the sake of it. Like I say, I've had a good week. I've had a green arrow. I'm climbing. But here's my sort of thoughts. Oh, Saish. How are we doing? Ramsdale, Everson, Trent, Robbo, Cancelo, Perisic, and Nico. Strong at the back there, mate. Nice to see. Neto, Salah, Martinelli, Rodrigo. Oh, so Rodrigo's injured. Salah's not on Salah form, although we did get 10 points the other day. Neto has been a net no for me. Andreas doing well. Kane, Jesus, Arja, 0.3 million in the back. Please suggest some free transfers here. You've got 2 free transfers available. Right. Let's have a look then. Now, anybody who's watching, by all means, please do get involved. If you've got any suggestions for Saish here, please do make them. These are just my sort of like looks. So, for me, who are your weakest links there? So, Rodrigo has to go. He's injured. And Neto massively needs to go. And you've got 0.3 in the bank. For me, I'm looking at... If I was looking at a 5.5 midfielder, I'd be looking at Anthony Gordon, although they've got Liverpool this week, because his stats are looking pretty good. You've got to go. You've got 0.3 in the bank. I think you've got to go Kane to Haaland. That's a no-break. That you have to do. You can't go without him any longer. But you're going to need to raise some funds. So it's going to be Rodrigo. Whoa, mate. Rodrigo's got to go. So maybe he was, what was he, 5 point? How much is Rodrigo? Let's go into transfers. 6.4. So Rodrigo can go down to gross. I mean, Zaha is sort of like on my list of somebody that I want in my team. I'm not so fussed on gross. I don't know why, although he's heavily influencing games. Leicester at home, Bournemouth away, Crystal Palace at home, Liverpool, Tottenham, Man City, Chelsea. I don't think the fixture, you know, if it next 3 games okay, fair dues, but then after that it's a bit tougher. Nottingham Forest in the middle there. So I think it's a short term. If you're looking for somebody short term, then maybe Pascal Gross. I think Xhaka's not a bad shout, to be honest, as a 5 million. If you know to get into that, an extra player in that Arsenal midfield. You've got Ramsdale in goal, though, haven't you? So that's not happening. Let's go to my watch list. I'm going to put my watch list together of players that I'm thinking that I want, and we'll see if. If there's anybody that sort of comes up on that for you. So, here's what I am thinking, where I want to go to. So, players that I'm considering letting go, maybe not this week, but in the very near future. Tony, and this is what I've been, it's been such a difficult week, I've got to be honest. Tony, Kulusevski and Nico Williams. This is why it's tough, because the players I want to bring in are here. Louis Zaha. Looking fantastic. Like, I've never, like, he's always been a good player. He's always had it in his locker, but different player under Patrick Vieira. Goal, 2 goals, goal, 4 goals this season already. He's looking a different player. He really is, and that finish last weekend. Wow, what a finish! What a finish. So he's the one player I want to bring in there. Up front, I want to bring in, and this goes back to right at the very beginning of my wild card. Bring back Darwin, and then that leaves me 4.5, which I feel I would bring in as it stands, and I think I might watch it this weekend because I'm not taking Nico Williams out this weekend, and I've already talked about how I think Everton are going to be improving defensively this season, moving forward with Idrissa Gana Gueye back in the team. Having seen him play for us before, he's a godsend. He will turn our season, our team round. I'm convinced of it. He is that good. Happy days, yeah, very happy. So yeah, that is what I am thinking of doing, but not this week, and that is where I want to go with my team. Oh, that's good, isn't it? That'd give me like the 3 in midfield of Martinelli, De Bruyne, Zaha, with the option of bringing Andreas. Oh, sorry, yeah, I'd have 3 at the back, 3 in midfield, 3 up front every week, and then I'm just choosing between Patterson, Dalot, De Silva, Andreas for my 11th starting position. And I think that gives me an extra sort of player. Andreas has been fantastic. Not too fussed about De Silva, to be honest with you. So that is where I want to get to, but that'll take me... Do I start going for that this week? Because I can't bring Darwin in. Here lies my problem. Leave Ivan Toney there. I can't bring Darwin in unless I sell Kulusevski. But to sell Kulusevski, I give up his Fulham game. And to be honest with you, I think Kulusevski is due a haul. Or is he due a rest? Haul or rest? Maybe Richarlison's due a start. Right, press conference summaries. Let's go and have a look before we start moving people around. So, this is where I go for this. I go back to Premier Fantasy Tools, and let's hope it's up already. If not, maybe I've had it on an email. I shall have a look. Press conference summary. Game week 6. So again, Premier Fantasy Tools, link in the description below. So, Arsenal ruled out Partey, El Neni, Reece Nelson might play. Odegaard might actually play. So if you were thinking of selling him, actually doesn't look like you need to, because it might just be the one game. Same applies to Zinchenko and Ramsdale. So it doesn't, to me, it doesn't seem like they are a must sell. So Ramsdale and Odegaard have been assessed. So it's a good job we've looked at this. We will see more tomorrow. Hopefully they'll be available to train with the team. Unfortunately with Alex, still not the case. He has missed 2 games, hasn't been able to train with the team yet. Villa, no Diego Carlos. Might play Leon Dendoncker. I don't think anybody's signing him straight off. See how he settles in. Bournemouth. No one's got Bournemouth. Let's not waste our breath. Brentford ruled out Kanyos, Pinnock, Norgard. Hayet available. Janssen. Don't think anyone's going there. Ruled out. Brighton. That doesn't affect anybody, I don't think, really. Lallana, Moda, Samiento. So Chelsea still ruled out, and it is affecting their game weeks, I think, is N'Golo Kante. Aubameyang isn't starting, so if you're thinking about bringing him in as a bit of a differential early doors, don't do it. And they're still waiting for a work permit for Zakaria or Zachariah. I'm not sure how you say that. I'll figure that out after match of the day if he scores a belter. Available, back from suspension, Conor Gallagher. I don't think anybody's investing in him just yet, but maybe one. Now the transfer window's closed, we'll start to see things settle down in some of the teams. Reece James is available, which is great news. Back in my team. Trevor Chalobah's back. Ruben Loftus-Cheek back available. So that's great stuff for Chelsea. But they do need Kante back, and I think that does make a difference to their defender scores and their clean sheets. Just as I was talking about Idrissa Gana Gueye, very similar players actually. Everton still ruled out Big Dom, Decore, Mason Holgate, Ben Godfrey, Yerry Mina, Andros Townsend. Lots of our defenders ruled out, but you know, I don't think most of those are first choice now anyway, to be honest with you. Ben Godfrey, possibly, if we're playing in a back three. Fulham, Shane Duffy's available if you're looking for a budget defender. Leeds United, Rodrigo, ruled out, and I think ruled out for about up to a month. So it's one of those, definitely a sell if you've got him this week. Might play, Luke Haley might be back, Junior Firpo. Leicester City, no one's investing there. Right, Liverpool, what's going on here? What's going on with their players? So ruled out. Thiago still ruled out. Konate, Alexei, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Kelleher, Calvin Ramsey, Naby Keita, Jordan Henderson out with a hamstring now as well. So really not doing very well in midfield, have they? They've not got much going on there. James Milner looks like he'll be starting at the weekend. Could be a cheeky 1 week differential if you're going into a wild card next week. You need a budget midfielder. Diogo Jota might play, so that's interesting. Obviously, he can play up front. He can play on the left wing as well, so it might start to limit Luis Diaz minutes, although he has looked really good, so it might just be for rest and rotation purposes. We shall see. And then available, as I have just discussed, and a player I am really looking to bring back in my team is Darwin Núñez. So Diogo probably will be in as well. He trained yesterday with the team first time. He'll train today. If it's the first time we have 5 attackers, it sounds like Christmas. That's Jurgen Klopp trying to blame the fact he's got injuries all over the place. We all get injuries, mate. Laporte ruled out for Man City. Might play Jack Grealish knock. I mean, for me, these might plays just aren't going to play. He doesn't take risks. Pep at all. He's 22 years old, so he recovers well and quick. When you're 32, it's more difficult. But 22, it's not a problem. This is Pep Guardiola on Erling Haaland's recovery between matches. Captain! I can hear it calling. Ruled out. Now, I did see this today. Martial is ruled out. So, if you are a Marcus Rashford owner, 6.3, that is a potential player to go to from Rodrigo, by the way, if you already own Martinelli. Then that's tempting. Might play Luke Shaw. Elvis is joining. I have a question. If I own Henderson and I only have 5.7 in the bank, I think you need to put the rest of your question in there, Elvis, mate. Newcastle United still ruled out. Callum Wilson. Anybody going for Isaac this week? £7 million. Scored already. Could have got a second. Might play Alan Saint-Maximin, Bruno Guimaraes, Alexander Isak, Deadleg. Now, these are 3 of the main players for Newcastle, I think, moving forward. Notts Forest, Richards ruled out. I don't even know half the players at Notts Forest. Do Nottingham Forest fans know half their players? 21 players signed, is that right? Wow. Lavia's ruled out for Southampton. He's looked good. Livramento still ruled out. Excuse me. Have a cheeky drink. He's going to be out for 6 weeks. He was like on a long watch, just keeping a cheeky eye on him. So still out for Tottenham. Brian Gill, Lucas Moura. Available now, Christian Romero and Rodrigo Bentancur. West Ham. Ben Johnson still ruled out. as is Naif Agurd. And might play, though, is Skamaka. Let's see if he settles in at some point soon. Aaron Cresswell, he was doing so well, wasn't he, last season? Craig Dawson. Wolves ruled out Chiquino. So, yeah, that is your press conference summaries put together for you beautifully on one page by Premier Fantasy Tools and then shared by me. So, let's go and build my watch list. Let's have a quick look. This was my... Let's see if I can put this on for a second. This was my watch list last week. Let's just hide that window there for a second. Was that my watch list? No, that wasn't my watch list. Where was my watch list? Was it that one? So that was my watch list, not last game week, the last game week before. So, Sanchez in goal. He's now in my team. So that needs reviewing. Perisic, I think he's dropping down the list with the fixtures now coming up for Spurs. Zinchenko is coming back. Trippier, Chilwell, Veltman. Interesting. Rodrigo Zaha, I was watching him a couple of weeks ago and he's moved right to the top of my list, particularly with Rodrigo now being injured. Fernandez, I'm a bit gutted for me personally in my FPL team that I didn't sign... Although Ronaldo didn't move on. I've just seen Elvis's question. Who can I get for 5.7 in the midfield? Right, let's go and have a look and see who is looking good for some stats then. So let me just close this down and then I'll build my watch list after this as well. So let's close that down. So this is Fantasy Football Hub. Tools, let's have a look. So I'll make this a bit smaller that way. That's it. And then I can make it a little bit bigger. So we can really have a good look at these stats. So let's go to Opta. Let's see who is performing. So let's first of all, let's have a look at this for you, Elvis, mate. Let's go defenders, midfielders. Let's set the... bar. You've got exactly 5.7. Let's not get upset about the people we can't have. Let's hide the really low minutes players and look. Let's look at totals first. Oh, is it because of the low minutes players? Let's put them back in. So these are the players that are coming up. Xhaka, as I mentioned to somebody before, is a great option, I think, at £5 million. He's certainly playing in a more advanced role. As we can see, he's had 3 shots, 2 on target, 3 inside the box, 2 big chances. Expected goals, he's had 0.8. This is the totals. Let's put it per 90 minutes. Let's see who comes out on the sort of top of these ones. Points. 90, hey? It's because they've only done a few minutes. I don't like that. Let's stick with the totals at this moment in time. So top of the points, McAllister, and he is on penalties as well, isn't he? At Brighton, and Brighton have got some very good fixtures. If we look at the fixtures moving forward, let me just go back to Premier Fantasy Tools because I really like their fixture difficulty planner because it ranks it in sort of like numerical order. It's not just 5 different colours and whether it's a good one. It ranks it compared to the other teams. So is this one. We're looking at offence, I suppose, for midfield. Ranking for the next 6 game weeks. Brentford, great fixtures. Leeds, Leicester, Newcastle. Look at how this has all changed. Arsenal are dropping down the list there. So, interesting that, isn't it? Let's have a look at the next. So we're in game week 6. Let's look at the next 10 game weeks, which is, I think, what people are interested in. Brentford, great fixtures. There I am saying, let's get rid of Tony. So they've got some great fixtures. Who are we looking at? So Xhaka, Jensen, McAllister. That's Brighton, isn't it? Where did Brighton finish on here for offence? 11th. What about for the next 6 game weeks? 10th. So middle of the table in terms of fixtures for Brighton. For McAllister for you, but he is on pens, so always good. Good to have. Xhaka, like I say, he's a £5 million. Could give you 0.7 in the bank. Players that interest me. I'm an Evertonian, so I am really interested in Anthony Gordon now. A couple of goals in his last games. If we look at expected goals for all of these players, and I do like the expected goals list, there we see Gordon is top of that list. He's scored 2 already. Expected assists, as we can see, he's 1.1 as well. This is totals. Expected points, I think he'd probably be top of that as well. Head of Solly March, Souček, Almiron, Eze, he's looking pretty sharp, but I think Zaha, if you're going to go Crystal Palace, 7 million, but he's a 5.5 option, as I seem to remember. If we make this a little bit smaller, zoom out a little bit, we might get, there we go. Can everybody see that? I think we can. Get a little bit more information. You can see 5.5 for Gordon. All appearances, no subs appearances here. He's got the highest expected points, so I think he's a great punt up against Liverpool this week. It's whether you fancy that or not right now. Are Liverpool the same team this season? They got that late goal, but it was a very late goal. Some say that's sign of champions, but I only see one team winning the league this season, in all honesty. So for me, the best options, 5.7 million wise. I really like the look of Gordon. I've got to be honest. 2 goals in 2 games. He's finishing. He's finishing at last. His expected goals are right up there. Expected assist. Who's got the most of those? Gordon as well. Oh no. Eze. Elliott for Liverpool. Jensen, but Gordon's not far behind. So I think if you're going to go, it's a cheeky punt at 5.5s, isn't it? Let's be honest. I think you either go 5 million, settle for Xhaka in the middle there. He's doing really well, 24 points. Yeah, I think he's doing really good. I don't know why he's sort of like not in this list, but he's getting points, so that's a good sign. Eze, I think is a good gamble. Gordon's a good gamble. You're not expecting much from these boys, are we? Let's be honest. If they get a return sort of every other week, that's their FPL gold at 5.5s. So yeah, that would be my suggestions in midfield to go with those. If we just open this up and go to 20, is there anybody that sort of like stands out? I mean, I'm assuming you haven't got Andreas, because obviously he's a good player to be having in there. Yeah, like Milner for a 1 week punt. Certainly going to start this weekend, I think, up against Everton, or maybe a couple of week punts. But yeah, those are the players for me, mate. Let me know what you do and how it goes, yeah? So let's go now and have a look and see who is performing overall. Let's go defensive. Let's have a look in defence. Who's the one nailing it? Let's have a look at we've got key stats here. Let's have a look at defending stats. I don't know what half these mean. Clearances. So clean sheets right at the top. We've got Man City, Arsenal, Brighton. Three out of the 5 though. It's only one every other, isn't it, for people? But these are the ones that are who's performing. Let's just go key stats. Let's have a look and see who is, because when it comes to defenders, yes, I want to be seeing how well they're doing. Maybe that's for dealing down into the gritty, but I'm looking for an attacking defender, in all honesty. So defenders overall, who's up there? Expected assists, Alexander-Arnold still up there as the highest expected assister, and with Darwin Núñez coming back, I think anybody who's thinking cash in on Alexander-Arnold, my personal opinion, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, simple. Nico Williams. Now, 1.28 mil expected assists, right up there, like I say. High, got more expected assists than Reece James, Ivan Perisic. I'll tell you what, in a top team, he could be brilliant, couldn't he? And maybe once Nottingham Forest settle in with their 21 new players, they've got a number of strikers. Maybe he will start to deliver, and maybe he doesn't need to be sold off for a Dalot or a Fofana, which is where my thoughts are at this moment in time. Expected assists. Southampton Pro is not on anybody's radar. 4.5. Henry at Brentford, 4.5s. 1.2 expected assists. 1.02. Okay, who's creating the biggest chances then? Who's the biggest chance creator? So all on twos. John Stones, Perisic, Pro, Nico Williams again. Henry, James, Alexander-Arnold. Zinchenko's created one. Okay, still only a small sample size, 5 games. Expected goals. Sessegnon. He's not first choice, is he? Nico Williams, right up there. He must have the highest combined overall. Nico Williams. Dalot. This is why I'm considering Dalot over Fofana. 4.4 million. But who do I go? Do I let Patterson go? Who I think is going to be a better long-term prospect than Nico Williams, who is absolutely got smashing underlying numbers and is probably, if he doesn't deliver this week, when is he going to deliver? He's only on 8 points for the season. That is the stat that matters compared to Dalot's 21. But he's played every game, Dalot. Look at that. Tarkovsky, 4.5 bargain. All bargains with the expected goals. Look at these. Expected points, combination of everything. Gabriel at Arsenal. How much is he now? 5.1s. Diaz at City. Saliba at Arsenal now up to 4.8s. He's not that 4.5 bargain anymore, is he? But look, expected goals, not 0.16. More likely to get an assist. Alexander-Arnold. Up there, 21.25's actually got 23 points. Emerson Royale, Walker, Cancelo, Davis. These are the players that are performing. Veltman up there, so cheeky little 4.6 option. People have been signing him. Look. So let's go. Let's open up another one. Watch list page. FPL. I still don't know who to bring in or how to do this. So you are going to have to help me with this in a bit, guys. Hey, you're very welcome, Elvis, mate. No problem at all. Listen, down below there's a link. Join the league. Might have seen at the beginning of the video. Do a bit of analysis. Sort of like look at trends and hopefully help each other as we go on. Want to create a winner in this channel. So yeah, do join. Anybody else as well. Anybody else got any questions? No problem at all. I'm in it for the long haul. I've got pizza delivered. It's probably gone cold by now. Yeah, I don't know what to do with my team, so let's go and put some transfers. So, who would I... Let's remove... Let's remove everybody out of here. Let's put a little cheeky watch list together. Players that I think are worth a look. Players I can't have at this moment in time. And then we can rank them. So, obviously... If they're not in my team, if they're in my team, they're not going to be in this list here. And some of them wouldn't make my watch list now either, to be honest with you. So, let's go back and make this slightly wider. So I get that on the side, because that just makes it a little bit easier. So, in goal, Henderson, absolutely. Watch list, doing fantastic. I think Nick Pope is a watch. I really do. They've got some good fixtures, if I remember rightly. Let's have a look. Till game week 16. But I'm quite happy with me Sanchez keeper, to be honest with you. Sahar doing well. I think their fixtures... How do their fixtures look? Yeah, not happy there. Look really good after that, though. If you're planning to wild card game week 11, he's your keeper. Yeah, so for me, I'd say Henderson and Pope are the two keepers that I would be interested in if I was interested in keepers that aren't in my team. Now, in defence, let's have a look. So, Saliba would be there. Gabriel would be there. Veltman for his fixtures would be there. I don't think Perisic would be there right now, to be honest with you. I think Trippier still makes it. And a lot, but actually no, because now Veltman doesn't make it out of all these. Making it there as a bargain, Wesley Fofana, 4.4s. So these are the players I'd sort of, and I don't think that's actually a bad defence, to be honest with you. Already looking like quite a good squad. 67.4 million remaining. Who would I be putting in midfield? Let's have a look. Select replacements. So midfielders. Oh, let's take the FO out of there. So I'm not watching Gross. Oh, God, look at his points. I feel stupid saying that. Anybody else think that about Pascal Gross? Let's have a look at his stats. Midfielders. Let's look at these midfielders. We've just done the defenders. Some midfielders. Who's performing in midfield then? Overall. So Martinelli. Points. Expected points. Let's go straight in for the kill. Yeah. Martinelli. Rodrigo. De Bruyne. Salah. Sterling. Yes, he has started to deliver, hasn't he, in the last couple of games. With Gordon right up there. See? Elvis. Interested. I've seen people talking about out Ramsdale. Do you think that's a good idea? I do actually think it is a good idea. If you'd seen my videos a couple of weeks ago, it's not essential. Depends on the rest of your team, Ivan. But I think with Ramsdale, he is not going to get many bonus points, and he's not going to get many save points. This was my analysis and why I brought Sanchez in. Because the bonus are going further up the pitch to the players that are scoring all the goals. He's not making many saves because, well, Arsenal defence is doing really, really well. So it's about the clean sheets, and if he's conceding one here and there, he's not doing as well as I think other keepers are doing, to be honest with you. So for me, he's a long-term sell anyway. He could possibly start tomorrow, as we saw in the press conference summary earlier. So, you know, he's not a definite sell. Certainly if you've got Ward, maybe, or you've got another second keeper as a backup tomorrow, because he's not guaranteed to start. But if he is somebody you need to get rid of, as I've just put in my team, and players to be I think to be looking at are Pope and Henderson, and I've got Sanchez as well. So those are the three I think I'll be looking at if you were going to. Welcome, Ivan. Listen, join the league, Ivan. Links in the description below. More we get, the better our analysis gets, and we can all learn from that. Right, where was I up to? Midfielders. So that's just expected goals. Let's look at expected goals. By the way, if you've just joined, this is fantasyfootballhub.co.uk. Very kind permission for them to share this during my videos. I'm not an affiliate. I don't get any money or anything like that. But their link is in the description below. I do pay to subscribe to this every year. I think it's like £2 a month, something like that. And I find it invaluable, to be honest with you. Expected goals. Zaha, look at him. This is why I want him in my team. 2.98. This is totals so far this season. Over 4 appearances. So he has the highest expected goals and 1 game less than everybody else. I think I might bring him in this week. Let's see. Can I really bring Darwin in against Everton? Oh. Let me know, guys, because I'm an Everton fan. If you've not watched the channel before, Is it okay to bring Darwin in against Everton? A, is he going to start? Number one, because Firmino's been playing quite well. I've seen people been signing him. So A, is he going to start? B, is it right? Because I'm an Evertonian. I think we're going to be tough, better in defence, but anything can happen in a derby, and we do normally concede, against Liverpool. In all honesty, maybe he is the player. Maybe he is the one. Ivan's asking for the best Rodrigo replacement. I think it's Gordon. We're looking at midfield right here, right now. As you can see, expected goals so far this season. Actually, Gordon's got a better expected goal ratio. Expected goal involvement's the same as Rodrigo. Better than Martinelli. So, and he's just started finishing goals in the last couple of game weeks as well. It's the fixtures, I'd say, moving forward. Let's have a look at the fixtures for sort of like the next 6 game weeks. That's live FPL. Again, link in the description below. But for attack, see, where do Everton come? They come 20th. We've got Liverpool, Arsenal, then West Ham, Southampton, Man United, Tottenham. There's some tough games to bring Gordon in for. But, you know, he thinks he's the big game player. There's some tough games, aren't they? But he's going in the watch list. Let's have a look. Luis Diaz goes in the watch list for me. Sterling, Gordon, Zaha, McAllister possibly. Let's have a look. Let's go back to this then. So, in no particular order. Sterling, definitely on the watch list. £10 million player. I may well cash in on Kevin De Bruyne. Hence, why? Because I'm going to be captaining Haaland. It's as simple as that. The two are playing. Zaha, he is number one choice, I think, at this moment in time for my midfield. Who did I say? Looking at these stats. Gordon, I said, didn't I? Did I put him in? No. Eze, I think he's a player to be watching. But not if you've got Palace, not for me. No, not at the moment. No. Where's Gordon? Next page. Oh, there he is. Gordon, add player. Luis Diaz. Certainly one to watch for my list. This, guys, is a way of me keeping record of the players I'm sort of interested in. Ready for next week as well. But hopefully gives you guys a couple of tips on players that I've sort of been watching. And let me know what you think of these. I think this actually looks quite a good team again, to be honest with you. Add a player in here. Who was it that I was interested in? McAllister. I just think with Ronaldo back, I think he's going to end up starting. I just think he does affect... He does affect Bruno Fernandes. He does, simple as that. Got Son right down here. It's just not right, is it? Almiron's a good watch. 5 million. Certainly one worth keeping an eye on anyway. Yeah. The other player to go in here is... I've just remembered I don't need that. Keeping an eye on Xhaka. He'd be an upgrade maybe for one of my... Maybe the silver at some point. But Rashford. Martial's injured. Worth a punt at 6.3. Good Rodrigo replacements, I think. To answer your question there. Ivan as well. Without a doubt at 6.3s. But these are the other players I'm sort of like keeping an eye on. Moving forward. Odegaard could be back tomorrow if you've got a little bit of money in the bank. I think he's a possibility. Gross, I'm not convinced. He's not in this. He is in this list. Where does he come here? So expected goals 1.62. Creativity. Let's have a look at expected assists. Who's at the top of this? De Bruyne, unsurprisingly. Harrison for Leeds. So possibly a good option. What are Leeds fixtures like moving forward? Third, looking forwards. Next 6 game weeks. Next 10 game weeks. 5th overall. Some good fixtures for Leeds. Harrison's certainly a consideration. Hi Nanjay, how you doing? What do you think about Alvarez as a punt? I just think there's better City players to go for a punt on. I've seen him recommend, like a couple of people may go for a punt on him. Possibly. How much is he? How much is Alvarez? Let's have a look. Let's put him in the watch list. Because, if I remember rightly, he's very reasonable. 6.2. Did he start as 6.5 and he's dropped? Or did he start at 6 and he's right and he's risen? Surely not. I just think there's possibly better options at 6.2, to be honest with you. I think Rashford in midfield, if you can move around like that, at 6.3 is a better option. If you can go as far as Zaha at 7.2, I think that's a better option. And I just think there's better options throughout the whole of Manchester City at £6 million, certainly in defence. Diaz in defence is possibly a better option. Nicely taken goals, don't get me wrong, but unless he's playing alongside more frequently, we start to see that happen. I think he's one for the watch list, so I'm going to put him on my watch list based on that. Thanks very much, Nanjay. You're right. Like I say, I'm not making this up as I go along. This is my sort of like gather my thoughts on the week so far. What am I going to do? Who am I going to sign? I think I might make my transfers the more I think about it. Massive one for me here. Select replacement. Let's just take this out of here. Without a doubt, it's Darwin. I had him in. He's the massive one. I've still got £15 million. What do you think to this team, guys? A little bit of a differential, isn't it? Not so bad. Seem worse. I don't know which other striker. Mitrovic. He's just... I'm almost tempted to bring him in, but I want my... Let me just take a screenshot of that before I lose it. I don't know if you get to see anything here, how it looks. But I shall just take a screenshot of that, which I have done. So that's now saved. Happy days. And we'll use that one next week. So those are the players I'm interested in. I'd say... For me this week and my team, if you remember, this is my team here. I am, if you weren't in the video earlier, I'm tempted to, I want to move towards Darwin instead of Tony, Zaha instead of Kulusevski, and that gives me a 0.5 million so I can upgrade either Nico Williams, Patterson, or actually the Silva to... a £5 million midfielder to Almiron, possibly Onana at Everton at 4.9. You're welcome, Nanji. Don't forget to join the league. Anybody else got any questions? By all means, ask away. What do you think I should do? I could do with a bit of advice here. I've got 2 free transfers. This is me, players that I'm interested in for my team. I wouldn't bring Alvarez in this week though, but he's on a long watch. You know, if anything, Mitrovic and Darwin are like top of the list. Who's Zaha got this week? Newcastle away, and Man United at home. Look at all those fixtures. It's great right up until the world, you know. How do they fare on the Premier Fantasy Tools? Crystal Palace for offence. Well, if I just make this a bit more detailed. Yeah. Get the actual numbers each week. Crystal Palace 9th for the next 10 game weeks. What about for the next 6? See Palace 13th, Newcastle, Man United, Chelsea, Chelsea and Leicester. I don't think they're tough fixtures. Away to Leicester 15. Brighton, that'll be tough, but Spurs fixtures just aren't as good, are they? What am I mad? Should I be keeping Kulusevski? He's due a big return. See Spurs next 10 game weeks, 11th. Really dropped down for that sort of like high placed mid. Look at Brentford. Maybe I'm mad getting rid of Tony, but I think Darwin's going to smash it, to be fair. Wolves at home in the next game. Best captaincy. Let's go and have a look. Let's go and have a look. For me, off the top of my head, straight away, I'm going to say it's Haaland this week. But let's go and have a look at some stats and see predicted points. Who's predicted to get the most points this game week? Harry Kane up against Fulham, 8.3. These are your players. Son, I would not be captaining Son this week. Salah away against Everton. Oh, I think that's a big shout. Wow. Haaland all the way down there. Away against Aston Villa. Really? So these are their points predictions. Let me go and use the captaincy selection tool. I may have digressed from something. I'm not sure. But we have a question. Who would you play this week? Dalot or Nico? It's got to be Nico. I'd say Nanjay for me. This weekend against Bournemouth. His underlying stats are there. Dalot, as you can see, I'm thinking about bringing him in, but I'm hesitant because Nico could be one of the players I replace him with. And I don't feel like I need to do that so much this week. Absolutely not. Right, Premier Fantasy Tools. Captain Picker. Top FPL Captain Picker. So this is for me and my team as it stands this week. I'll load up my teams. I've done no transfers, so this is how it sort of like looks. So number one choice according to Premier Fantasy Tools, and if you've not seen it before, this is how it works. The following is considered when ranking the captains: the upcoming fixture difficulty, the player's form, the chance of playing, points performance so far this season. So all of that is sort of like considered, and coming out is number one is Erling Haaland. Number 2, Kevin De Bruyne. Number 3, João Cancelo. City are on form, and they are number choices 1, 2, and 3. And this is why, Nanjay, I'm not considering Alvarez, because I have those 3 players, and I think I have. And this is the reason I've chosen them. I have the best defender, the best midfielder, and the best attacker in the best team in the land playing in my team. So that is why I've chosen them. Nathan Patterson is a differential. My God, Josh Da Silva is the number 1 differential. Wow. Must have less than 10% ownership. I must have some high ownership going on there. This also tells me who I should bench. There's also a feature on here, which is bench. This is free to use, by the way. You can support it, and I think it's about £1 a month or something like that. If you do, which I do. And Mark is the website creator is in our league. Watching all the way from Trinidad and Tobago. Thanks for the help. No worries, Nanjay. Great to have you on board, mate. Join the league. Maybe we can keep helping each other. Give me some advice. Let's have a look at my bench then. See what the recommendations for my bench this week are. They how I've set it up. I don't always go with this, by the way, but I just like to see what the computer thinks. So Patterson on the bench. Yes, I've got him on the bench. Pereira's on the bench. Yes, I have. Danny Ward's on the bench. Nico Williams on the bench, so he's starting him. Alternating. So Josh Da Silva gets a start this week according to bench recommendations. Who have Brentford got? For me, So, yeah, if you're a bit unsure and you can't decide, then this is always a good way to go and do it. But what I find is I go and do it, and then I go with my own thoughts anyway. But, it's, you know, these tools are, you know, this is my toolkit, if you like. Let's go a little bit more of my drink, which is running out. So, let's get back to my team. Let's get back to my team. We've looked at predicted points. We've looked at captaincy. I think best captain choices this week. I'm not going to say Salah. I think it's. I think he's off captaincy for me. To be honest with you, I mean he's not even in my team. But for me, it's going to be Erling Haaland. He's returned every single game week. Nice one, cheers, Ivan. You do join the league, mate. What was I saying? Oh, I've forgotten. Reading and thinking. Quite difficult, boys and girls, yeah. I can't remember. Right, let's go back to my team anyway. That's my watch list. These are the transfers I think I'm going to make this week. Like I say, I've got 1.4 in the bank. I don't think I'm going to bring the lot in for Nico Williams or Patterson. I think both. I think I want to keep Patterson for the long term. Nico Williams' scores this week. And I've got, if I make the transfers that I'm thinking of, Zaha, who we've seen, has got the most expected goals this season with one game less than everybody else. And cheeky differential. And I got back to my... What do you think, Ivan? See, you're a Liverpool fan. Do you think Darwin's going to start tomorrow? He's definitely going to come on and play a part in the game, isn't he? Do you think he starts for Liverpool tomorrow? The other thing we need to consider, fantasyfootballfix.com. I like to use, I would imagine. Let's have a look. So Martinelli's on the jump tonight. So if you're interested in these players, these are the players looking like they're going to be going up tonight. Martinelli, Bernardo for Man City. People signing him. Interesting. Quite a lot of people signing Bernardo. Still only got 6.9, so it's a really good price. But second most, I don't know, third. Sort of like more people sign. I wonder if there's a lot of wild cards on the go. People trying to buy in for cheap on the City midfield. Gross. People still signing Gross. I mean, I could sign Gross instead of Zaha. The code is pdvlbm. Let me have a look. Let me click on that's my watch list. I've taken a picture of that, haven't I? There be transfers. Let me just open up a new one. I'm sure it's pdvlbm. Let's have a look. It should be in the description below, to be honest with you. Which, whilst you're there, if you haven't liked my video yet, guys, please do. And do subscriptions. If you don't know, by the way, when I get to 100 subscribers, I have my guitar. I'm going to create an FPL tune. I'm going to have a go at it anyway. I do like to write the odd little song. I'm quite good at rhyming stuff. Certainly silly stuff. But I don't play in public, so it is a big thing for me to do. I would record it and post it, not do it live, to be honest with you. pdvlbm, nice one, Elvis. Cheers, mate. Beat me to it. Gossiping away. What do you think then, guys? Do you think I should make this transfer? Do you think this week with Kulusevski up against Fulham, I should sell him? Do you think I should sell Kulusevski anyway? And sell Tony, who is up against, looking at who De Silva's up against, Leeds at home and then Southampton away. You have looked a bit better, Southampton, to be honest with you. Maybe it's not as easy as we think that. Does that give me better overall? I've still got 0.5 in the bank, so I can upgrade I can upgrade either De Silva, Patterson, Nico Williams for a better 11th player, which is where I'd like to go. But I think I've got great choice between Patterson, Nico Williams, Andreas on a weekly basis for my 11th player. What do you think? Should I make those transfers? Give me a yes, give me a no. Six likes, 5 viewers, right. 5 people watching right now. Come on, tell me. Should I bring in Zaha and Darwin for Tony and Kulusevski this week? Or should I look to improve my Nico Williams or Patterson? This is where I'm at. Straight after this, I'll be very happy. I'll answer any questions anybody's got, no problem. Do some analysis. If we look at forwards, we didn't look at forwards, so that's probably a good one to look at. If we looked at forwards and we go back to Opta stats, we just look at forwards and we look at per 90 minutes expected goals. So based on what they've played so far, Undav at the top, really? Oh, because he's not played many minutes. Can we hide low minutes players? Is it letting us do that yet? It's not letting us do that. It's annoying that. Probably because we're so early in the season. Let's go per start then. No, per 90 minutes. We'll just have to ignore them. Look, Darwin's right up there. 2 games, 1 substitute appearance, and Ketia, he may well get some starts in the future for a rest. Obviously, Haaland's right up there, but not as high as Darwin. That's crazy. Big chances, 4.69 for Darwin. Expected assists. Darwin right up there, second. Martial right up there, but he's out injured. Charleston doing well. He's got a start coming soon as well, hasn't he? Keep Zaha and stays Zaha and Tony, I mean. Oh. Do you think Tony's got... He's got some good fixtures. You not think Darwin's... Maybe I'm just wanting to go back to that team that I had on my... and I've been sort of like waiting for him to come back. Maybe I'm jumping the gun on it. Nice one in the league. Happy days, guys. It's called the Who Really Lovesit League, and we're looking to find out who really loves it when it comes to FPL, because I love FPL. I'm not an expert. Certainly not an expert. I just loves it. And I think together we can make some sort of good choices, hopefully. Looking at the eye test, I certainly want your info coming back. Why do you think I should keep Tony then? Is it his fixtures? If we look at forwards, he's up here. Expected goals, 0.38. Expected assists, 0.42. He's on penalties though, isn't he? Let's do it. Let's have a look at totals so far this season. Tony right up there with expected assists totals over his 5 appearances, next to Jesus. Fair play. Kane, Haaland, Firmino, Welbeck, Mbeumo, not sure how you say it. Mitrovic, Darwin. Expected goals. Haaland, 6.22. Mitrovic. Maybe I should be selling Tony for Mitrovic. I've just been burned by Mitrovic before. Anybody else signing Mitrovic this week? Let's go and have a look and see who everybody's signing, isn't it? Now, excuse the jumping. If it is jumping, I can't see obviously because it's a stream. But I have got a new processor on order. I was hoping it would be by this evening, but it's not. Top transfers this week. Let's look at more. Gross is the most transferred in player. Lots of people replacing Rodrigo with Gross by the looks of it. Haaland, obviously, if you don't own him yet, then you need to own him. Can't say it strongly enough. Return every single game week. Zaha, I'm looking to buy him. But whether I should keep Kulusevski for one more week. But Martinelli, everyone's signing him. Yeah, Mitrovic, he's 418,000 people. He's now in 23% of teams. That Haaland, 75.6 6.5. Are we going to get to a situation where we've got 2 strikers owned over 80%? Nobody's signing Jesus this week. They've already got him, that's why. Bernardo, that does surprise me, but points are there. The thing with Bernardo is he can play him in midfield, or he can play out there on, you know, at the top on one of those wing, sort of like attacking sort of wingers that they have, if you like, inside forward. So he can play 2, and you know, if he does hit a bit of form, he hits a bit of form, doesn't he? Excuse me, I'm gonna have my vape. Hope you don't mind. Smoking's bad for you. I gave up 6 months ago, so this is next. Isaac's not. Oh, he had a little cheeky knock, didn't he? We saw that. So those are the transfers in. Rashford. Not many people going for Rashford, but they are signing him. Ownership's going up. Right. So that's players that people are signing. Gross. Yeah. If you don't own Martinelli yet, sign him. Just sign him. 6.4 million. Yeah. You can't go wrong. Where have you been? Transfers out. Let's go back to here then. Have a look at the transfers out. So top one's Rodrigo, as you'd expect. James, he's back. He's not injured. Don't sell him unless you want it in the funds for elsewhere. But I think his attacking returns are, you know, enough, and they are going to tighten up once Kante's back in the team. You know, they've now got their defence that Tuchel wanted. Odegaard again, not going to be gone for long. Lots of people getting rid of Tony. So why is it? What? Ahmad, let me know, mate. Why do you think I should keep Tony and not sign Darwin? Because lots of people are selling him. He's the 5th most sold player last week. People selling De Bruyne. I think that's because, for me, I'm considering the De Bruyne sale possibly in the future, but only, you know, to bring in other players. Maybe bring in Foden. I think if it's a Man City player, he seems to be playing in every single game. People selling Salah, not as essential as he once was. Kane's on the go. People get Ramsdale, but not as many as you'd think. Not as many as you'd think. People starting to sell Jesus. He's now less than 80%. Am I a madman for captaining Salah? I don't know if you are a madman for captaining Salah. I mean, it's a really difficult one for me to give a real sort of honest answer, because if you ask me, in my heart of hearts, what do I believe is going to happen tomorrow? Everton are going to win tomorrow at Goodison Park. It's 12:30. The crowd are going to be up for it. Liverpool haven't been the best this season. We've got a whole new midfield. We're not the same Everton that played them last season. And I think we are. I can see Connor Cody scoring against his old team. But that's just me. You know, he's been getting chances. He scored 10 points the other day, you know. So I don't think you're a madman. No, when we looked at the points prediction before, I think he was 2nd, wasn't he, in points predictions for the week. So I don't think you're an absolute madman, no, because the stats are sort of pointing that he's going to get some goals. Am I a madman for not having him in my team? I don't know, but people are selling him. He's £13 million. He does return notoriously, has done for 5 seasons. But are Liverpool a different prospect now? Are they a different team? Are they playing differently? A, forced into it, but B, you know, with Darwin in the team, are things different? Are things different? Salah's certainly not delivering like he does normally. So, with that in mind, possibly. Bear in mind, the first 16 game weeks of last season, Salah 160 points, averaging 10 points a game. You know, he's nowhere near that at this moment in time. So, you have to make that my decision for yourself. Captaincy is my, you know, it's my challenge on a weekly basis. Go with the gut, go with the stats, go with what. But for me, I am going to be going Haaland. Transfer time. What am I going to do? Kulusevski looked dangerous, the eye test. He's not moving up, is he, Zaha? Where's he up to? How's he looking? It's going to move up tomorrow, so I'm going to have to make my move soon. I can do it after the game week, but no. I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it. The only other option I've got, let me just come to this first before I do that, and this is a viable option actually, is to keep that as they are. Tony stays where he's at, and I stay with the team I've got, who did actually manage to get me 76 points. I'll click the right button, Paul. I did manage to get me 76 points last week. My other option is I've got 1.4 in the bank. I could upgrade the silver to, check this out, Anthony Gordon. So that's improving my bench and gives me a stronger midfield overall, possibly. And I've still got 0.4 in the bank there, and I could upgrade Patterson. If I signed Gordon, for example, I probably would get rid of Patterson, and I could replace Patterson with Dalot or Fofana, which gives me a stronger squad, I think, overall. So that's my other option. And I think I would probably go for, based on what I've seen, Dalot, to be honest with you. So that's another option for me. And then obviously I can look at Kulusevski plays up against Fulham this week, but then he's got bad fixtures, so I would look to replace him next week. But maybe I look to bring Diaz in, but I think he's 8.2 now. Is he? Diaz 8.2. Instead, yeah, he's 8.2, so I don't have that spare 0.1 in the bank to swap Kulusevski to Diaz, and I can't see him getting a rush of players, so that's not an option for me now. Someone's messaging me pocket. It might be that my pizza's gone really cold. I've got a Domino sat in the house. This is how much I love you guys. Who loves you? Livesey loves you. Right, I couldn't watch Liverpool play without Salah in my team. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. I've decided to have as few Everton players in my team as possible because I just have the bias. Hence probably why I'm looking at Gordon now, but his stats are there as well. So that's another option for me, guys. Strengthen my squad, thinking that, you know, we're going into these game weeks now. This is a serious consideration, actually. Now I'm looking at it. I really don't know what I'm doing this week, by the way, as you can tell. This is a serious consideration for me because, you know, the De Bruyne people are going to get rested. I could go Kulusevski next week to I could go next week. I could select replacement and I could go Zaha. So I do get Zaha in for next week. And then that leaves me 0.9 in the bank for the following week. To shift Jesus on to Darwin, possibly. No one does know what they're doing, do they? Honestly, I've never in my life, I don't think, had 2 free transfers and think, just roll. Do I roll? Do I play them? Normally I'm taking hits left, right and centre. You've got Alvarez in your team, Nanjay. Oh, I hope he returns for you all. I really do. What are you doing this week, Daniel? Listen, mate, nice to have you on board. Join the league below. It's all about analysing how we do and like looking for... It's all at the beginning of the video this week. You're going Alvarez as well? Wow. Lots of people going Alvarez. Tony to out. See, I'd have to get rid of De Bruyne to go Alvarez. And for me, I'm very happy. See, that team looks nice. I've got a conundrum every week. Do I play basically Tony, Gordon, Andreas, Delort, Nico? That's a good squad. That's a good bench boost squad, actually. Yeah, no worries, mate. If you're praying for him to be benched, it's all about your team, in it. End of the day, of course, mate. Thoughts on Gibbs Sayesh? I would say my thoughts on Gibbs White. He could be a very good player. He is their record signing at Notts Forest, but there's 21 players. I think we just need to let them, like a starting 11, settle in there before we invest in any more Notts Forest players. That's my view. Anybody else want to chip in on that plan? Please feel free. Nante, you're a Man United fan, but Salah just knows how to get FPL points. He does, and he has for 5 years. But is he going to continue? If we look, let's go and have a look and see. I've not seen how he got on this week. I saw a team, the top team, 2 teams last week that I saw before the end of the season. If we go to Leagues and Cups, I was looking and having a cheeky peek at the overall league, and the top team that I saw, they were in 18th last week, and they're called something Abui's Secret or something like that. But the top 2 teams that I saw last week really hadn't used any chips. Basically, didn't have Salah in the team. I ain't going to go searching through all these now. Let's have a look at the number 1, Roscoe. You know he's used some chips for that many. See, bench boost play. See, no, triple captain. I'm not interested in these teams. I'm not going to go searching through them all now. Because we could be here all night. But something interesting to do, that is, I think. I wish I could see that team now. Obi-Wan Iwobi. I'm sure that guy's in the Toffee TV League. Oh. Triple captain's been played. How did it do? Only 15 points, so that's not had a massive effect on this guy's team. Yeah, Everton. I'm sure he's in the Toffee TV. No. Recognise the name. Maybe he was previous seasons. So there's only the triple captain been played. One thing, and it only got 15 points, so it's not affected this man's team at all. Let's have a look. It's got Salah. Currently ranked 12th. Okay, so we did have him to start off with. Don't know. Let's have a look. Game week 2. Yeah, got him. Haaland up top. Captain in Haaland all the way. I reckon from here on in, that was triple captain. Still got Salah, 8 points. Still got Salah. Still got Salah. So I wonder if this guy keeps Salah for next week. Interesting. Anyway, a bit of a digression there. Sorry if that one got... Join the league and sub. Great stream, lad. Nice one, Daniel, mate. More the merrier. Like I say, hoping to get a better processor to help this ease and move on. Let me know if you've got any quandaries this week, mate. Anything you're struggling with. As you can see, I am. So which team's better? Yeah, and I could go to Darwin at a later stage. Let's restore Kulusevski. So I could do that this week. I'd still get Zaha in. But I have to sacrifice Jesus in a couple of weeks for Darwin. I don't know if I'm prepared to do that, you see. I really don't know. But I don't know if I'm going too early on Darwin. I don't know if I'm too early on Darwin. Such a difficult week. By the way, guys, if you've just joined and you've not been with us earlier, this is my watch list. Just show you quickly. These are the players I'm sort of like really interested in. I'd say in defence, Zaha's right up there for me. Darwin is my main number 1. striker that I want to sign this week. And I think the lot, I think at 4.4 million is the main sort of like defender I want in my team. Looking good going forward. I think he's nailed that place. He's played every single game. So yeah. Right. Let's go. I'm going to do my transfers. I'm going to do it. Stronger squad or better players? Or better 11? What do we think? Stronger squad or better players? Because that's what I think it is for me. 8 likes. Can we get to 10? Like I say, if I get to 100 subscribers, if you haven't subscribed yet, then I am going to write an FPL song on my guitar for you all. God, I'm scared saying it. I think because Richarlison's playing well, I think Kulusevski could be due a rest. I'm going to bring Zaha in. Can I really bring Darwin in before the Merseyside derby? I can. If he gets on, his expected goals are there. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. He goes against everything in me bones. But he would still be in my team now if he hadn't been sent off. So I'm just going back to where I was at before my wild card. However, Kulusevski's gone. Sanchez has come in for Ward, which I needed to do that. I didn't have a choice. Select replacement. Where are we going? Where is he? There he is. I'm doing it. Oh, I'm not taking a hit. Restore player. Yeah, 0.5 left in the bank for next week then, and I can look to see do I improve one of my defenders? I'll have another week's info on Patterson, Nico Williams, or do I look to bring in a £5 million midfielder as a better bench option as a first choice? Maybe Almiron at Newcastle, been looking all right, hasn't he? Or maybe Onana at Everton. Now we've signed Garner Gay, will be getting forward a bit more. You can't see Klopp starting him this week. Should I start Fofana over Saliba? I don't think. Who have Chelsea got? I wouldn't personally. West Ham at home. Chelsea defence hasn't looked great. May need to settle in. Not guaranteed to start either. Whereas Saliba, who have they got? Arsenal. Man United away. Oh, maybe. Oh, fuck. That's a tough one, that. Chelsea at home. West Ham have looked poo, haven't they? They've looked a bit better in the second half the other day. Tempted for Fofana, but I think until he's actually started... Although if you start him, chances are, if he doesn't come on, he's not going to come on as a sub later on, is he? You wouldn't have thought unless there's an injury. Oh, maybe you want to introduce him last minute. For me, it's Saliba. I don't think they're guaranteed a clean sheet at Old Trafford. But Saliba over Fofana at the moment. Saliba starts. I don't know if I'm right. What does anybody else think? But if it was my team, that's what I would choose. Let me know what you do, mate. Think he'll play Bobby and bring him on at 60 minutes? I do think he'll come on as well, but he's not just a sign-in for this week. He's a sign-in for till game week 16 for me. And I think when if he does come on, I think he could score as well, to be honest with you. I do. And Zaha just looks an absolute baller this season, doesn't he? So I still get to strengthen my squad, don't I? I still get to strengthen my 11 players because I've got 0.5 in the bank. Do I hit that button or not? Oh, my pizza will be well cold by now. to Domino's as well. I reckon the boat has been pushed out. Friday night pizza. I think I'm going to do it. That front line just looks like a really good front line, doesn't it? Let's be honest. Not. Should I do it? Flip a coin. Tails of Captain Darwin. I can't captain him, mate. I just can't captain him. That would be like, no. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I think I'm happy with me defenders. Right, I've just clicked the button. I've just clicked it. I've done it. I've done it. I've done it. Right, let's pick team. It's already set up. That's a good team, isn't it? Bear in mind, next week I've now got 500,000 to go. Andreas will be staying. I'll be looking at between Nico Williams, who I think it may be, possibly De Silva. These three players, I've got 0.5 to upgrade one of them. Everybody else I'm very, very happy with. God knows what I'll do after that the following week, but we shall see. Don't have coins, mate. Don't do money these days. It's all on card. All right. Anybody got any questions? Anybody want me to look at anything before I go? Best performing forwards, best goalkeepers, best thing for 8 million, anything like that. Right, Nanje, your team this week. Let's have a look, mate. So you've got Alvarez, Haaland and Jesus, Salah, Martinelli, Kulu. I've just sold Kulu. He'll probably deliver for you. Luis Diaz, looking good. Dalot, Walker and Nico. So real budget defence there, mate, haven't you? Fair play. But like I say, Dalot, I've been interested in. Nico, if he doesn't deliver this week, when does he deliver? If he doesn't deliver this week, basically, you need to sell, because I think lots of people will sell and his price will be dropping rapidly. He could well be the first, 3.7 mid defender if that happens very quickly. But, yeah, those are my thoughts anyway. This week, he'll be the one that goes and I'll bring in. I don't know, either that or he just goes to last on the bench. Adam Armstrong punt. I'd say, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Who are you replacing him with, first and foremost, because we can compare. But up the stats, Adam Armstrong is a midfielder. How much does he cost? All the transfers. Solid 5.5s. I just think for me, depends on your team structure, I suppose. 5.5 for an attacker, getting some points. How many minutes has he got? Fixtures? No, history. He's had a good week last week. He's done well against Chelsea. What are his underlying stats like? He's 5.5. Let's compare him against other 5 point. Well, in fact, let's look up to £6 million forwards. I mean, I think the obvious answer is if you can stretch to Mitrovic, you do. It's replacing Archer. Yeah, fair dues, mate. Fair dues. So he's your highest point scorer below 5.5, isn't he? Nice. Let's have a look and see. I mean, he's played in every single game, so that's a good thing. Shots. So we've got Mbuemo, Edouard. I don't think that's a bad punt, actually, at Crystal Palace, to be honest with you. 5 goals, 2 on target. That's the only thing. 5 inside the box. I mean, Brentford have got some great fixtures. If you can go up to 6 millions, but if you've already got Tony, probably don't want to go that far. Like I say, you replace an Archer, so he's 4.5s. So Adam Armstrong in this sort of like list so far for shots on target, he comes like 9th. Adam Armstrong 2nd, along with Solanke at Bournemouth. Don't think anybody interested in him though, are they? I like the look of Mara at Southampton, to be honest with you, but he's played in every game, 3 as substitutes. Just not started. Adam Armstrong started every game, no, to be fair. I mean, he's not a player where I'm going, yeah, desperate to have him. If anything, I think if you are, for me, playing at that sort of like level in terms of like money, you just go 4.5 and stick him as your last bench player. Which I suppose you've got that in Archer at the moment. Although he's dropped to 4.4s. I mean, Gelhardt, he came on the other day, 5.3. He might be one. Bless him, he was subbed on and then subbed off, wasn't he, for Patrick Bamford. But with Rodrigo missing, you know, he's going to get some minutes, I would have thought. Aubameyang's just signed for Chelsea, or Broja might have been a good option. It's a tough one, that, mate. 5.5's up top. Just want a third choice or somewhat of a chance to return. Fair dues, mate. Well, I think he has. He's played every game. You know, he's getting shots. They're on target. Expected goals. Who tops the list there? So he's third. Oh, I've not clicked it. He's third in the list, ahead of. I mean, Edouard at 5.4 comes in as well. We'll have a look at their fixtures in a minute. Southampton and Crystal Palace compares those. So that's their goals anyway. Expected assists. Where does he feature? He's third for expected assists. So maybe, mate. Maybe he is the one. I just wonder, can you get? I mean, if you've got 4.5s in midfield with Andreas, I suppose most people, maybe you're better off having a 5.5 in midfield, but. It's a tough price point this year, without a doubt. I mean, expected assist, Rondon's up there. Bloody hell. Ain't signing him, are we? Let's have a look at Palace, Brentford fixtures. It's this one here. There are other fixture difficulty ratings out there, obviously. I just like this one. If it was a skill, then I would love to know where to go and learn how to do it, Bandido. So, without a doubt, for me, it is luck. Now, it's a guess every week. It's a gamble. However, it's an educated gamble, I think, for a lot of people as well. A lot of some research, how they're performing, the teams they're up against, you know. So, if for example, you know, if you've done all your research and you can see that, you know, left-sided defence is really struggling up against Salah this week, then he's a good captaincy choice if they're conceding lots of goals. So there is an element to it of skill, but who would have predicted, for example, that Salah wouldn't score a 9-0 against Bournemouth? Nobody. I think I saw a stat, it was like a 1 in 2 million chance or something like that would happen. Moving forward, we're looking at did we say Brentford? Who did we say? So we're looking at arms. So Southampton, so Mbeumo was 6 millions. We were looking at expected goals to start off with. This is our strikers. So Crystal Palace, we said, didn't we? So in terms of attack, we're a Palace. The eyes have gone. There they are, Crystal Palace. 13th, not got the best. Newcastle, Man United, Brighton, Chelsea. So not the best. Here I have. I've just signed Zaha. Oh well. I think he can score against anybody the way he's playing at the moment. Brentford and Mbeumo. Maybe he's a good shout. 6 million. Have you got any money in the bank, mate? Other than your 0.5, but I think, yeah, possibly he could be a good punt. Expected assists, 0.6. It's towards the top of these lists on his performances so far. How was his fixtures? Southampton, 9th. So, better than some of the players we've talked about. Who else are you getting for 5.5 up front? You're not, are you, really? Not from any of these teams. Gelhardt. He's not getting full minutes, though. But we'll get you some points, I think, whilst Rodrigo's out. Right. Final set of my team, then. So, absolute captaincy is on Haaland this week. Yeah, Sanchez in goal. That's it. Nico Williams. I've got no more changes that I'm going to be making. Andreas will be. He's up against Tottenham. He's away at Tottenham, so he's going to be my first choice on the bench. De Silva's like next after that because he's playing at home, and then I do see Everton conceding. The Patterson is due a goal as well, but I'm not. He's not going any further up against Liverpool, I'm afraid, at this moment in time. That's my team, guys. Hope you have a great game week 6. I shall see you in game week 7. Hopefully I can do these things a little bit more spread out. League updates, videos, a little bit more. And hopefully my processor arrives in time for a better quality stream for the next one. Listen, thanks very much. If you haven't subscribed, now's the time. If you haven't liked the video, now's also the time to that. And share it with people. More people in the league, the better. That'd be great. Join the league. Go to the description. If you like the websites I've used, they're in the description as well. I'm out of here. Don't forget